Hey,
Hi,
Eddie, how you been?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Good. Notice my hair's all messed up. Ah, how's life?
Going pretty good.
Good.
Yeah,
Been a
just
while.
working on this thing.
Oh yeah, having some good times.
Yeah, I think I didn't really get to practice much last week, and I'm feeling it today.
Okay.
Yeah, and it it's amazing how quickly you can forget, or not really forget, but just lose the feeling of playing again. You know what I mean?
Oh
After
yeah.
going a period of time.
Yeah. I technically didn't play much last year, and I'm feeling it now when I'm, putting videos together.
Yeah.
Not always in tune as much as I'd like to be, so I'm just with you, like everybody else, trying to get my skill back.
Well, I had a small stroke in
Oh wow.
November, so I didn't touch it for a few weeks, maybe 2 or 3 weeks. And when I started back, it was just like I was starting all over again.
hmm
It was
Yeah, it's
crazy.
like riding a bike though. You kind of, you know, might not feel it at the moment, but it comes back easier, when you kind of are away from it and get back into it. So,
Yeah.
yeah. So, yeah, I'd love to help you out, give you some tips and see you play and stuff. So, if you want to start with that, I got to grab my instrument. Did you want to, yeah, play something for me and I can kind of see how you're doing?
Sure. This is Polka by Dancla.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I have you right here. I'm just going to grab my instrument. Go ahead and start.
Sorry, I'm nervous.
That's all right.
Ah, sorry. Ah.
Oh, nice. Got the vibrato going too. Cool.
Trying, yeah.
Yeah, nice job. You can play your strings for me. I kind of want to make sure we're both matching up in tune. Go ahead and play your A. Good. D. Good. G. Good. E. Good. Nice. Awesome. So yeah, I really like the good hand position. Definitely have improved a lot with that. I remember we did lessons over a year ago, and that's come a long ways. Really good finger angles.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah, good bow hold. Really, you're set up nicely. Definitely some good technique there.
Thanks.
Yeah. Do you go ahead?
I said thanks.
Oh yeah. Do you happen to have the music to that?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. Possibly to send me right now, or is it like on a sheet and you have to scan it or something?
It's on a sheet I'd have to scan, but I
Oh,
can.
okay.
Yeah, I can do it.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
It's up to you. Yeah, just kind of curious, so I can give you some tips on some of the articulation. I don't know the song as well.
I know that's the biggest problem I have is the articulation. It sounds messy.
Just wondering where some of the staccatos are at. Noticing there's a lot of bow pickups, so I'm wondering obviously the bowings and stuff like that are in there.
hmm Trying to find. There it is. My scanning
Yeah,
app.
you could just scan. Yeah, take a picture of it or whatever.
That
Yeah,
didn't work. Try this.
I like your background.
Thanks.
You're an enthusiast. I can tell.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's developed for sure. That's cool. Yeah.
Okay.
Are you practicing typically every day or every other day, or what's kind of your typical practice routine?
To be honest, it's been kind of hit or miss
Okay.
lately. Um, it mostly has been because of work,
Yeah.
but I just left my job this past Friday, and I'm going on to another job, but I'll be doing that in a couple of weeks. But with that job, I'll have a lot more free time, so because I'll be working 3 12-hour days, and I'll have the rest of the week off. So,
Nice.
and any little chance that I get, I'll just pick it up and just play around with it.
Good. I can tell you definitely have come a long ways. I mean, from the last time I saw you, I mean, I know you're more in like the day to day, week to week, mindset, but I haven't seen you play in a while, and I can see a big improvement.
Yeah, thank you.
Great.
What is your email address?
It's Michael at violincheck.com. Yeah, not up here.
Oh, if I could just got fat thumbs.
Yeah, I need a new phone. My phone is like totally on its last, like one more drop of it, and I think I'm gonna just have to get a new one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's cracked pretty bad. I used to do videos on it, but now it's like not even in a position to do videos. So I just bought a new laptop, so I'm using that now for videos.
Yeah. I just emailed it to you, but I think it's going to contain 2 documents. One of them is it didn't scan the full document, so ignore
Okay.
it.
Oh, I just got something. Okay.
I did email you a little while ago asking you for the meeting ID number, but then I figured it out. You had sent me a link the last time to get into the Zoom meeting,
Oh, okay.
so that's all good now.
Cool. All right, yeah, I do have it in front of me. Okay, so yeah, we're in the key of F here. Yeah, lots of articulation actually. I wasn't sure if it was more kind of like a one of those fiddle tunes that doesn't have much of anything, but this has a lot of articulation and it's telling you exactly how they want you to do it. Um, so yeah, I'm thinking, there's definitely a lot of spots probably where, yeah, just really tucking in those half steps really close,
Yeah.
between like the C naturals and the B naturals. I think in general using more bow, although it does start piano. So I can see how you would have started off with a little bow there. But it does get into forte. Looks like it has a lot of accents.
Those
Um,
double downs are killer.
the what?
The double downs are killer.
Yep, the double downs. And yeah, when you're doing, double downs, try to, set the bow a little bit more gentle using small muscles. So, kind of pay attention to make sure the thumb is curved and the pinky's curved as you're lifting. So, I mean, something you could just practice is just open strings and just kind of relifting and setting, like. And what you can actually do with that is do those a few times and then do like a rocking bow drill right after that because with a rocking bow drill, it's going to sort of test how much tension is in your hand. So you might be using too much tension as you're lifting. So I would do like this,
Okay.
and then if you're getting, obviously, then yeah, then you're setting a little bit on the more tense side. So, but yeah,
Yeah.
it looks like there's a lot of those multiple down bows in here. Yeah, let me just play it a little bit, kind of to get a feel for it, and then I'll further give you some tips on it.
Great. Okay.
Yeah, it starts off just real soft. So yeah, I would use a little bit more bow for some of those slurs that you were doing. So. And then yeah, just really making sure that some of those half steps are tighter, I think.
Yeah. I've been having trouble with that for so long.
Sure.
That's my.
But the thing is, though, I mean, you have a really good, solid hand position to be able to do it. I think it just kind of takes. What I do is I mark in to the music half step spots. So like if two fingers are supposed to be touching, I'll actually put like a little mark above the notes connecting them, and
Okay.
that basically implies that they need to be as tight as possible.
Right.
Because yeah, when you're playing the key of F, there's a lot of full steps and half steps you kind of got to deal with. And then yeah, there's those accidentals, and then half step raises and stuff like that. So
Right.
keep going here. So yeah, definitely just more bow in general. And then right there, that's the first time I saw some actual staccato notes. So that's where I would use a little bit less bow, but I think you're maybe a little bit tense with the staccato when you're pulling. So when you're pulling the bow faster, try to use more index and less thumb, pinky.
Okay.
So for example, let's see, in measure, like the third line, the second measure there,
Uh huh.
like that.
Okay.
And as far as the accents, you don't necessarily use short bow. You just emphasize the beginning of the note. So accents are more like that.
Okay.
So if I start at the last measure of line 3, so it's not, it's like that.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was just sort of emphasize. It's don't think so much of a short bow for that. Think more of a quicker bow for that.
Okay.
And then right there, there's a lot of accidentals in there that can easily be missed in line 5, right?
Uh
So
huh.
we have
Yeah.
right there, that's an easy one to miss there. And a tip too, so in line 5, notice in measure 3, you have that D natural, the last note of measure 3, line 5.
Yeah.
So you have your third finger down on the A string. One thing that you should do is you should use that finger to find the half step on the E string, the B flat.
Yeah.
So try to use fingers to your advantage as much as you can. I'm not sure if you were lifting that up, but I know a lot of students think of half steps only on the same string, but you actually can find notes on the adjuvant string as well with that same half step concept.
Okay.
So that's a spot there. So if I start at line 5, it's right there. that.
Yep.
And then, yeah, we go into the key of E flat. Looks like so we're adding it, not for too long though. And then, yeah, that's when you have all those double downs, right?
Hmm.
So yeah, I would work on just the setting of that, and use as much bow as possible. I notice you only use a little bit of bow if you can, definitely because especially because it's forte. As much as you can, with a lot of flexibility. So it'd be like that.
Hmm.
Oops, I missed an E flat. Like that.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Is that about the tempo I should be taking it at?
It's Allegro moderato, so I think the tempo I'm at right now is sort of up to speed. And then it looks like it. Let's see.
For some reason, I feel like I'm rushing it.
I don't think so. I was more thinking maybe yeah, more of the intonation and some of the half steps and stuff like that, and then like some of the articulation, the style more than I would think more of the style at this point than the tempo.
Okay.
You could slow it down a tad, and that wouldn't hurt you. And kind of work up speed once you get a little bit more of the articulation down. Now that I have the piece in front of me, if you want to go ahead and try it again, um, see how you do with some of those tips. You want to start at the beginning?
Oh, do you want me to? Should I?
Sure.
I have trouble with this. The very first part.
So yeah, your third fingers are a little bit on the flat side. So I think what's happening, this is very common. So you're coming back for that B flat, and then you're getting your hand out of position for the 3 and the 4.
Yeah.
So yeah, go ahead and try those first few measures again. Really watch the intonation with the 3s. It's a little bit higher actually, Eddie. Sorry, it's higher with the first note of the piece actually, C natural. A little higher actually. That's right. Yeah. So it was that was better C natural. Good. The A natural needs to be higher. So in measure 3 it should be. I think maybe what's happening, I see this often, students press down a little too hard on that C natural. There's a little bit too much pressure going to the fingerboard that it's harder to sort of stretch for that 3.
Okay.
Um, yeah, that measure, let's just do that measure to really make sure it's in tune. So,
Where are you? Where is this?
measure 3 of the piece.
Okay. No, let's do this.
Okay, yeah, so it's getting better. Yeah, the two, just really work on the 2s and the 3s. I would use like a tuner. Also working on the key of F, the F major scale would be good practice for you.
Okay.
And working on that with a tuner. Yeah, the second line, there's some tricky little accidentals in there. So right here you have. So that's 3. So that has to be a little higher in general. And then put the 4 right next to it. And open. I think you're missing the B flat. It needs to be higher. Then C natural right next to it. Yeah, so you actually hit the B flat nicely. The second measure of line 2, that was good. The B flat. The 3 needs to be tighter to it. There you go. That was good. The last part there, higher 3. So in general, your 3s need to be higher. So
I see. I see.
that's right. Good. Good.
Okay.
What you could do actually too, obviously doing the F major scale, but what I would do is I would do it in thirds, so doing every other note and then using fourth finger. So I would do like that.
Okay.
So yeah, it's basically second finger F natural. You're doing the F major scale. So with thirds, you do every other note, and then come back for the next note. So it's 2, 4, 3, low 1, open, 2, low 1, 3. That's where you're missing that 3 a lot. And then it's 2, high 4 natural 4, 3, low 1 F natural, open, 2, 1, and then come back. Like that.
Okay. I can work on that.
Yeah, you really get that. Yeah, and then let's just quickly do line 5. That's kind of a tough line with all those accidentals in there.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh.
Yeah, so a couple spots in there. That wasn't bad. Your F sharp accidental, normal 1 has to be higher. So right at line 5, that needs to be higher. Then higher C sharp accidental. And one tip in here, leave your 1 and 2 down because you actually come right back to them. You could actually put a fingers down indicator in there. So as I do line 5, watch how I leave my 1 down. So that whole entire section, I left my 1 down because I went back to it 3 times.
Okay.
So you could actually put a bracket from the F sharp in line 5 below the F sharp all the way over to it would technically be all the way until the F natural in the 1, 2, 3, 4, the 5th measure of line 5. Make sense?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's kind of like you're using simplifying and using fingers down to find the next note. So
All
cool.
right.
Awesome. Any questions?
Nope. Nope.
Cool. Yeah,
And
I would say we could, I could definitely help you out again, and we can go through this again, and yeah, just work on those scales and the F major. Um, really, your technique looks really good. I mean, like your left hand set up for success, your right hand is, just a little bit more index usage in general, but you're set up with a nice bow hold.
great. Okay. This is the Pernambuco I bought from you.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and
So
then you mentioned you mentioned you were interested in the silver series to kind of maybe try that out as well. Obviously, you're in the contest, but you were thinking maybe trying one out and seeing if it makes a difference. I can see why you would because of doing all this new articulation stuff.
Yeah. What can you tell me the difference between the nickel, the silver, and the gold?
Yeah, absolutely. So I mean, the nickel is the starter level Pernambuco that I offer, and it's really a huge upgrade from if you're just used to like a Brazil wood or a fiberglass, like a cheap bow. So obviously you have a nice starter level Pernambuco, which is good. Once you start getting into the silver series, it's gonna bring more out of your instrument. So
That's
it's also gonna make articulation a lot more precise, and it's gonna be easier to get a cleaner sound, which if you're just starting out, it's not as significant as like where you're at with doing all these articulations and tricky bow restarts and tricky crossover stuff like that. So yeah, it's pretty significant, going from the nickel to the silver. Like I send those out to people all the time, to test for themselves because yeah, really it's you actually seeing it for yourself, bringing it to your teacher and seeing the differences. And yeah, almost everybody sees a huge difference between the nickel and the silver. The gold is even better than the silver, but it's mostly like for professional level, for really advanced. It's really complimentary if you own or are trying out like a upper level European instrument above like 5 grand or 10 grand.
mhm.
It can bring even more out of the instrument. So I send the silver and the gold out to people, and they're definitely they can definitely tell the difference, but it's mostly people that are kind of looking at higher end instruments that kind of see the value in getting that one over the silver. So
Yeah. Yeah, I'm really interested in the silver.
yeah, that makes sense.
How much do you
I
sell?
What's that?
How much do you sell them for?
Retail they're 1,000. I do sales on them, which I can actually offer you the sale price, so it'd be 799. I asked like 150 for a deposit,
Okay.
which I can refund back to you, obviously if you return it. But yeah, I mean, I could send you one or two of them, and you can kind of test. Do you know if you prefer like a lighter bow or heavier, or I could send you one or the other if you're not sure.
I think probably lighter.
Okay. Yeah, that would make sense. So yeah, the lighter weight for these Lugers is right around 60, 60 and a half. So yeah, I think that would be a good weight for you.
Okay.
And then the bows are going to have sort of a different weight distribution. So I could send you a couple that are in that weight range that some of them have more weight towards the frog and some have more weight towards the tip.
Hmm.
So that's totally a preference thing, and you could test that and kind of see which one makes playing the easiest, based on your playing.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
so we could set something like that up, definitely, and yeah, I would love to work with you. Obviously, I'm doing these classes and stuff like that. So, are you interested in maybe popping into one of my webinars that I'm doing throughout the week? I have different ones going on based on student interest right now.
Huh.
So, if you wanted to pop into one and kind of check it out. um,
Yeah, I would like to do that. The only thing with that though is that it's at 9 o'clock at night.
oh no, actually, what I was talking about is I actually have other webinars that I'm offering to students through my membership.
Hmm.
So basically, with that, I give students 2 webinar classes per week, and I'm basically creating new webinars based on their interests. Like right
Okay.
now, I have like 8 or 9 different webinars I'm doing throughout the week, during the day and the afternoons more. And for example, like on Mondays, I do a webinar with a student that's looking to learn like church music, like improvisation.
Hmm.
So he does that every week at 6 o'clock Monday nights, and then most students do like a core class like that, and then they do like a solid tone class, which is like a half hour where I'm just like really working on their technique. And then I'm doing also like a private lesson with them each month or whatever. So yeah, if you wanted just to pop into one, right now most of my students that I have are between 3 and 8 years experience. I don't really have many that are just starting. They're a little bit more advanced.
Hmm. Yeah, I think I'll do that. I will do that. I'll do that
So if
soon.
you wanted, I can send you some links to some possible ones just to check out and see what you think. Um,
Sure.
yeah, it's much more effective being able to like have just 1 or 2 students in a class, so I can be more personal with each student. Obviously like a private lesson kind of thing. Um, so yeah, they're a little bit different culture than like these massive 50 people webinars that are good as well for general tips, but not so much for like individually like what you're working on.
Yeah, I see.
So so yeah, I could invite you into one, and anybody else out there that's out there listening, be more than
Sure.
happy to recommend a couple that I have going on right now. Yeah, based on your availability, I could let you know what we have, and you could pop in.
Okay, I'd like that. Sure.
Great.
And I think because I'm actually going to be going on vacation Saturday. I'm thinking I'll probably wait to do the bow thing,
Okay.
only because of money. So I'm trying to, budget and make sure that I have enough for my vacation. So
Oh, okay. Yeah. Also, too, I didn't mention like payment options and stuff like that, but I do the 150 deposit on the bow, and
mhm.
then I can actually do like payment plans on that. So if you wanted to do, I could do like 50 a month or something like that, for especially since I know you and you've done business with me.
uh-huh.
Um, so what's that?
I said, yeah, huh?
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, there's options there. I don't know too. Are you looking to trade in that bow that you bought from me for a potential silver if you like it, or are you gonna keep both?
Well, I first thought that I would keep it since it's used. I
Oh,
mean, can you resell them?
yeah. I mean, I can actually take trade-ins on violins and bows, and as long as it's not damaged, I can give you what you paid for it. It might just
Wow.
need a rehair.
Maybe. It doesn't look too dirty or anything, but
Yeah, the hair itself actually it doesn't matter if the hair has any dirt, because it's more the stick. If the stick has any damage or if it's warped,
yeah.
if it's not warped, then I can rehair it and have it as a bow for somebody else. So if you
It's
wanted, yeah, I could give you what you essentially paid for that,
wow,
and that might really help things for you too.
that would really help things.
Yeah, yeah,
I
absolutely.
I initially, when I was shopping on your site, I really wanted that silver one. It just,
Yep.
I don't know, it just was so nice. I like just the way it looked.
Yeah,
And
I send them all the time to people. Just they're just trying them out. I obviously recommend them, but then they bring them their teacher and they play on them. They're like, yeah, this is a great bow. And the shop that I work with, I actually don't deal at all with them with violins. I only deal with them with bows because their bows are awesome. So
yeah, really like it. I do love it. I really do love this bow. But if yeah, I could do an upgrade, that would be fantastic.
yeah, do you remember what you paid for that bow, or I can check my records, but
I think 300 or 400 maybe. I can't
yeah.
remember.
So that
Yeah,
yeah, you looks like you'd be able to pay a lot less than what you thought for an upgrade
yeah, that'd
um,
be fantastic.
with a trade-in. Yeah. So if you, I can send you an email. We can talk more the details of all that. But yeah, we can definitely work something like that out. Obviously, you have to like the bow first. So once we figure out if you like it, then you can trade that one in, and then that would help your payment or whatever.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds fantastic.
Great. Yeah. Happy to save some money to some people and you know give you a better bow. So that's really cool.
Yeah, I'd love that. That would be
Awesome.
really
All right. Well, I'll email you here right after we get off the call, and yeah, also I'll invite you to do a couple webinar classes based on what I have going on right now. And if anybody else out there is listening, just feel free to email me at michael@violincheck.com,
okay.
and can set you into some webinars, and you might end up meeting Eddie or some of my other students.
Great. That sounds good. I'll do that.
Great. And you don't mind if I post this, Eddie? I'm just trying to give people some good tips and stuff like that on. Obviously, we worked on a piece, and I think if I actually post the music that you gave me, that would be helpful probably to some people.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. If you don't mind. I mean, if you don't want me to, I won't. But
It just makes me a little nervous, but
yeah,
you
I
know,
thought you played really good. I really thought so much was good, and it's just a matter of improving always.
yeah, but if it helps you out, then go ahead.
Okay, well, I appreciate that. I mean, there's so many people out there that are like just starting, and you're actually a lot more advanced than most people that are following and getting back started again. I don't know if you saw some of the recent videos, but some people like literally haven't picked it up in a year, and like convinced them to actually post a video.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of people like that right now. Those
Cool.
are
Yeah.
mostly the people that follow me. So
Right. Yeah. If it helps you out, I'll support you on it.
I'll appreciate it. Well, all right. Well, I'll send you an email here shortly, and we'll get your address and all that stuff of where you want the trial bow sent, and
Okay.
we'll go from there.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Mike.
Thanks, Eddie. All right. We'll talk to you soon.
All right. See you.
All right. Bye.